Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. If you own a Ford and you've been staring at that pesky engine code P1001, wondering what on earth is going on, well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to crack this thing wide open and get to the bottom of it.
So there it is, that check engine light staring you in the face. You plug in the scanner and it spits out P1001. It sounds cryptic, right? Maybe a little intimidating. But here's the thing, it's not just a random error, it's a message. Your car is trying to tell you something very specific, and together, we are going to figure it out.
All right, to solve this little mystery, first we have to learn the language. What is your car actually trying to say with P101? Let's decode it.
At its heart, P0101 is surprisingly straightforward. It just means the key-on engine running self-test, we'll call it the KOER test for short, didn't get to finish. It's not screaming that a specific part is broken, it's saying that a crucial diagnostic check got cut short.
So who's running this whole operation? That would be the Powertrain Control Module, or PCM. Seriously, just think of it as your car's brain. And this code? It's basically the brain sending up a flare, saying, hey, I tried to run my health check, but something stopped me.
Okay, so if the code is all about an unfinished test, let's go to the scene of the crime. What exactly is this test? And why in the world did it just stop halfway through?
You can think of the KOER self-test as a full-body health scan for your car. While the engine's running, the PCM goes around and checks a whole bunch of systems to make sure everything's working like it should. It's a really important procedure for keeping your car running safely and efficiently.
So here's exactly how it goes down. Step 1, the PCM kicks off its health check. Step 2, boom. It hits a wall. For some reason, it just can't finish. And the result? Step 3, it logs that P1001 code to let you know, hey, something stopped me in my tracks. Now, pay close attention to this because it's a huge clue. See that phrase, in the time allowed? This tells us the problem might not be a broken part at all. It could be an issue with the process itself. The test just plain ran out of time before it could get through its whole checklist. All right, we know what happened. The test failed. Now for the million-dollar question. Why? It's time to line up the usual suspects behind this P1001 code. Our investigation points to 4 main culprits. Chances are, one of these is the reason your car's self-test gave up the ghost. Let's dig into the evidence for each one. And here they are, our 4 main suspects, laid out plain and simple. The cause could be anything from a simple mistake during the test all the way to a faulty computer. Now let's break them down one by one.
First up, suspect number 1, plain old human error. Look, the KOER test can be a little tricky, and if you miss a step or do something out of order, it'll fail. So before you panic, the very first and easiest solution is to just try again, and this time, follow the instructions to the letter.
Okay, suspect number 2 is a communication breakdown. During the test, the car's brain might have gotten a weird, unexpected signal back from a sensor. This could mean a sensor is starting to go bad, which is often a much easier fix than dealing with the whole PCM. Next on our list, the engine's speed. See, the KOER test needs to run in a very specific Goldilocks zone to get good readings. If your engine's RPM is too high or too low, the test conditions aren't met, and the PCM just aborts the whole thing. And that brings us to our last and, most serious suspect. The PCM itself is on the fritz. If the car's brain has a problem, it can't exactly run its own diagnostic test correctly, right? Now, this is usually the least common cause, but if you've ruled everything else out, the only solution is to replace the module. Okay, so we have our list of suspects, but where do you even begin? How do you start your investigation? Well, thankfully, there is one critical first step that can give you your biggest clue.
So before you start swapping parts or messing with your engine's RPM, there is one thing you absolutely have to do first. This right here is the key that could unlock the whole mystery for you.
And there it is. You need to run the other self-test, the KOEO, or Key On Engine Off test. This is your starting point. But why? What's the difference? And what makes it so important? The difference is super simple, but so crucial. The KOE test checks systems with the engine on. The KOEO test checks them with the engine off. By running the engine off test first, you can find and fix any basic electrical problems or sensor faults that might be preventing the more complex engine on test from ever finishing. It lets you rule out the easy stuff first. So let's bring it all together. We've investigated the code, we've identified the suspects, and we've found our first clue. Here's your complete case file for finally solving the P1001 mystery.
So here's the entire case file summed up. P1001 isn't a dead end. It's the start of your investigation. It tells you the KOER test failed. Your search for the culprit should focus on our 4 main suspects, and your first move is always to run that engine off test to gather more evidence.
And that's really the whole point. We've taken what seems like a complicated, technical headache and turned it into a totally solvable puzzle. You now have a clear, logical path to figuring out exactly what your car is trying to tell you.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. You've seen the evidence, and you know the suspects. The only question left is, which one is the culprit hiding under your hood? Your investigation starts now.